All right, Cyber Traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday morning, September 13th. Great to see Grant, Lee, Felix, Alex, Henry, and all of us inside the live trading room of ours here. Great to see you folks. Great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube. So quick heads up, folks, for all of us on social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, a couple of different things. Fausto is still in Florida with the great Tom Busby of DTI at their on-site event there. I know he's going to be doing a class on level 3 and level 4 for those attending live this afternoon. So he's still going to be in Florida for today. I think he'll be back tomorrow doing the meeting. I'm unsure on that. Certainly by Thursday, he will be officially back, though. So I just want to let you folks know in that regard. Also, though, today being Tuesday the 13th, but any Tuesday, inside our live trading room, we're going to be conducting our Traders Talk workshop, our Traders Talk Q&A weekly workshop that we host right inside our live trading room. So for all of us in social media, if you're interested in joining said workshop, continuing the audio at least later on throughout the day and this morning, just go right down to the link on the blue banner below the stream right there to get yourself started. But for members and students alike, like Mario, Leda, Ray, you folks know more than anyone, but especially any of our new trial members joining us here just across the week inside our room. Hey, inside our trading room right here. Don't need to click any links to join. Just be right here at 11 o'clock Eastern time this morning. But if you have any trading related questions, please email me. This is the chance and time more than anything. I'm always here to answer questions throughout the day via email or via private chat. But, in Traders Talk, it really gives us the 1 hour out of the entire week where we have a chance here to thoroughly break down the question, why? Why is a stock like AKRO making the exact specific move that it's making? Not just that it popped off of, pre-market news early in the morning, but, why did this make a 136+% gain, at least so far this morning? Why did it top off right around 31.50-ish, 32, right around that area and pulled back? Perhaps we'll have a chance to break that down coming up in Traders Talk this morning. If it's not this AKRO, then certainly it will be something that will run when the market opens up. So with that said, folks, for all of us inside the room, you folks know, but any questions you have, send over through email, and we'll begin Traders Talk right here inside the live trading room, that is, at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, so with that said, AKRO, at least one question that we'll answer here, at least right now, is, well, why is this up so much in terms of news? We're not going to go over the exact specific move here, but we'll at least answer the question as to why this stock is at least up. Some sort of news that came out this morning for AKRO. So just getting the headline here really briefly here, folks. It says, AKRO Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company's phase 2B, keyword there, 2B, Harmony study met its primary endpoint for both the 50 milligram and 28 milligram EFX dose groups. So the key phrase with that is 2B, right? Because if you looked at IC back from last week, that was coming off of really good phase 3 news. Phase 2 is just a notch below that. And with that, it led to this giant run up so far. So on this trade, if anything, I did note some historical levels right over like 27.30-ish. But aside from that, I mean, there's definitely, some activity back from the last, couple of years, but there isn't really like a clear, concise historical level that I saw otherwise. So it blasted above that 27 and 27.30-ish here. Wouldn't shock me if that becomes support when the market opens up. But, hey, if it's going to really blast above that level, then we should be ready for a big move. And, it's easy to say that, but, that's what we ended up getting afterwards, right? Ended up making like a 4 or 5 point move so far, perhaps more coming up after here. So, yeah, AKRO definitely I'll put on our watch list here for the market open. All right. Hey, it's not just the AKRO that's been moving for us in pre-market so far. ETNB. ETNB is still pushing here. And a note with this stock that I just want to make mention of, I referenced it earlier in the chat board just a moment ago, is that, there's not really any historical levels or resistance in between like $5-6 or so here. Once it broke above these highs and like this here, it really started to squeeze up. But you go back on the historical chart, the stock was breaking all-time lows. So there really isn't a whole lot of historical data to work off of in between like 6-ish, 5-ish here and like, what is this, 1093? So, it's been making a really clean move across pre-market. It broke over 7 and it rebroke it later on here. So it did a good job of holding that as support, led to another pop prior to the market opening up. Yeah, definitely going to put this ETNB on our watch list alongside the AKRO. Also with this stock, hey, if this fails to break higher and if this is like a dud, then at least it's easy to borrow on my platform. If you're on a different platform than TradeStation, just double check with your broker. If it's easy to borrow from me, it's not a guarantee it's easy to borrow for you, but good chance. So with that, let me just get the news on ETNB here as well. So very similar news actually to AKRO. ETNB shares trading higher after the company presented results from blah, 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 phase 2 trial and treating a condition that I cannot pronounce. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. So it's a phase 2 clinical trial, at least, that they ended up getting good results from nonetheless. It looks like it shows improved liver fat, glycemic control. Those words I can pronounce. All right, so it led to a nice push. It's not up as much as AKRO percentage-wise. Doesn't mean that it's going to make the type of move that AKRO has made so far. I'm happy with this type of run already for the ETNB, but it is to say that there is not a whole lot of historical data to work with in between like 6 and 11, we'll just kind of loosely say. So yeah, this looks really good here for the market open. All right, we keep it going. We keep it moving here, folks. Hey, NRBO popped like prior to 8 o'clock. I was contemplating putting this on our pre-market list, but big spread, and afterwards it died off. So I felt pretty good with not putting it on our list there. Of course, we're coming off the CPI numbers being released this morning in pre-market. I should have started the meeting off that. I don't know if my platform's going to freeze up on me here with this, but when was the last time you saw the SPY down over 2%? Before the market even opens up? Crazy, right? Now, for as much as the market pumped up the last week and a half prior to Labor Day, even decent CPI numbers, I wouldn't have expected continuation immediately on the way up there. So, I feel like this is a bigger drop than anything, and perhaps we'll see more of a dead cat bounce, if not today, then perhaps just later on this week, perhaps by Friday. So, it wouldn't shock me the way this is trending for the SPY to pull back lower and lower towards 400 and see what happens from that point. But with that, just I wanted to make mention of that because I should have from the top. But with that, though, you have all these inverse symbols, though, like up big now, like SOXS, semiconductor bearish ETF. Obviously, UVXY is lingering around somewhere here. Yeah, UVIX. There it is. UVXY ended up making a hell of a pop coming off the CPI numbers being released. So on days like this, where the markets are moving up or down in a very strong manner, we're going to focus on an ETF like, UVXY than anything. You know what I mean? James asking a question in the chat board. James, Grant was referring to our Traders Talk workshop. Traders Talk. That's the weekly workshop we're conducting right here at 11 o'clock this morning. We keep it going, folks. See what else we got. Probably not a whole lot on the gainer side this morning, right? I've been saying that about the loser side with the markets moving up. Well, a day like today, we're not going to find a whole lot on the loser side, obviously, with the markets dropping off like this. So really, that's just about it. We got some other ETFs, but we're not going to really focus on any of the others, really, aside from UVXY, if anything. All right, we hop over to the losers list. What makes the top percent gainers one day often makes the percent losers the next. I'm talking right about this INM trade here. Ended up making a big pop in pre-market heading into the open yesterday and only continued up a bit later on after. So ran up beautifully from like 11, 12-ish all the way up over the morning up towards near 20. And then from that point, obviously, this morning dropped off in pre-market early. This happens quite frequently, so these are not swing trades, right? We know that. All right, let's see what else we got here. CRDF is easy to borrow. Chart does not look too good for any trade really here, though. Hey, if it's below $5 and easy to borrow, I'll look at it, right? It could be an interesting trade, right? BULZ would be that, but it's an ETF. So, I'm not going to be as inclined to focus on the ETFs because you can't really follow any iceberg orders off of it. It's much more difficult to apply level 3 to an ETF than it is like a publicly traded company. So if you have level 4, maybe, because it would be a little bit easier using the CVP column or the Delta column if you have that. But for right now, I'm just going to kind of gloss over the other ETFs here. Coin down big with market dropping off this morning. I didn't mean to click on this one here. What happened there? I lost track of my Coinbase trade. There we go. Hey, a little expensive, right? But I believe the order book should fill in a lot more when the market opens up for this trade. So Coinbase, I'm going to put on our main list. Looks pretty interesting as a short. 75, you would assume to be a major support level heading into the open. CLSK, I kind of jumped ahead and looked at Coinbase first. CLSK Clean Spark, it's showing good direction on the way down. Could be a pretty good short trade heading into the open. The only issue on this trade, I should say, for me, is that it's trading like 78,000 shares. You would want to see a little bit more. Leads me to think the order books are going to be pretty thin on this trade when the market opens up. All right, folks, let me know if there's anything that looks good from the side list. I wrote from earlier today that this could be a good side list day with the market dropping off after the CPI numbers coming out. Jump to my NEO first thing. NIO ended up making a big move up yesterday, took full advantage of that. It's down over 4% this morning and it's showing, good activity in pre-market early. It'd be hard to not, follow this morning. You could say the same on AMC if you're able to short it. It's hard to borrow on TradeStation for me, but hey, for anyone here, I'm going to put AMC on the main list. This looks good for you if you're able to short it. If you're not able to short it, then I'd move on, find another stock, and that's all right. There's going to be plenty of action here when the market opens up, just coming off what we just saw in pre-market here. American Airlines down, about 3.8%. It's dropping off pretty nicely, right? Airlines are moving down pretty nicely. NCLH, Cruise Line, down over 5%, took a big hit right away. Yeah, cruise lines are down more. All right, so you know what? If anything, airlines look good, don't get me wrong, but I'm just going to kind of slip all the cruise lines on here. They're down a little bit more percentage-wise heading into the open. Mitch asking on YouTube about Affirm, AFRM. Yeah, that's down big. That and Upstart. Upstart got crushed early on. I saw that. So when you said Affirm right away, I thought Upstart. Both are dropping off, or both were dropping off quite a bit. Hey, I'll slip the Affirm trade on our list. I feel like we're going to see a lot of this year heading into the open. A lot of stocks down like at least 3%, if not more. Michael's saying Plug down. Plug made a big move back from, I believe it was last week, right? So this has been on our side list recently. Made a pretty big move back from the end of last week. Been bouncing back up pretty nicely here. But I recall back from Thursday last week, Wednesday last week, we ended up doing really well on this trade on the way up. So you know what? It would be hard to ignore Plug. Slipping my NEO on the watch list. So at NEO, Affirm, Plug, AMC, Coinbase for anyone that trades the more expensive ones out there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a little substitution here for right now. Coinbase still looks good, but I don't want to build too big of a list up. When there's a more expensive stock, I'd really look at AMD because it has a really liquid order book for an $80 trade. So that's kind of what I thought of in the moment. And I just look at this. This looks really strong on the way down. Major support off of 80 heading into the open. So AMD looks pretty good. Brian saying same with CHPT short charge point. Yeah, we've been following this one too for the last week or so, right? So if I put Plug on there, I feel like it'd be hard to ignore CHPT. All right, I got to yank my own leash here. All right, give me a quick sec. We got a big list now. 2, 4, 6, 8. At least 8 different stocks. They're kind of slipping the cruise lines on there too, which makes like 11. And then UVXY, which is an ETF afterwards. 12 different symbols altogether on our watch list, folks. I think we're going to call it. We have a really good and big list heading into the open. I don't want to make it too big. All right. So with a lot of action heading into the market open, folks, I would suggest just to pick 2, maybe 3 of these stocks that we're going to be putting on the watch list. follow 2 or 3 yourself and really focus on those when the market opens up. It will give you the best chance to focus on the finer details for those trades, locating where the big iceberg orders are. If you're using Bookmap level 4 on top of that, you're just following more than one screen likely. There's a lot going on. You don't want to be stuck following 8, 10, 12 stocks right away at the market open. You're going to be lost in the shuffle. So I would suggest sticking with 2 or 3 from this list. And, hey, stick with those for the first 10, 15 minutes of the market open. And then from that point, if you're not catching any trades on those, if none of those are moving in any good manner, then you look to see what's moving in the trading room. You look to see what's, moving around on your scanners from that point, and you go from there. All right, but with that, we're going to look to recap the morning coming up in our Traders Talk workshop later on this morning at 11 o'clock Eastern. So again, for all of us in social media, Facebook Live, YouTube, just go right down to the link on the blue banner below to sign up for a week-long trial to our live trading room. And especially for this morning, you'll get access to our live Traders Talk workshop. You'll also get access to all of the recorded versions that we've done over the past several weeks. So that's included too. All right, for later, Grant, Brian, etc. inside the live trading room. Hey, I'm finishing up pretty nicely here with good time. So I want to make sure that we all have enough time to prep, get ready to go for the market opens. And with that, I'll be back on the mic right when the market opens coming up at 9:30, folks. Talk to you all soon.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.